the goal of every relationship? No, the goal of every relationship to stand the test of time.
No, bro.
Then why are you getting into it?
No.
Now, they're thinking about your Japa compatibility. It's a thing now. When you're talking about Harvard the other time, it's not part of the things that you bring to the table.
Yeah.
When you're talking about Harvard the other time, I feel like, bro, you can bring that to the table. Like, I'm an Harvard graduate. It's something. It's valuable on the table as of today. I don't know what's going to look like in the next 20 years or what it was like in the last 20 years. But as of today, your Harvard certificate actually is something that is important to your table. And
but let me just chime in something, right? Yes, please hold that thought. I don't want you to forget about where we went from. But let me chime in something. What are the divorce rates today?
Okay, so I was watching
with all of the. Did you understand what I'm saying? Like
very high.
Very high compared to when we had, and I understand perfectly what you're saying.
Yeah.
The economy will do you bad boost, right? And there is nothing wrong in a dynamic where, in fact, so let me use myself as an example, and a lot of the men that I know. Do you understand? Who is a married man? Yeah. You know, Amtu has a girl in his life. Yeah. Ronti is also a married man. Yeah. Like all of us, we work in our houses. Yeah. We clean. Yeah. Do you understand? We make sure, like, I woke last night, my wife is a bit ill now. Shout out, baby. I love you.
Shout out.
Shout out, baby. Guess what? Yeah. She's a bit ill. And like, I just went around the house yesterday because I had to be here very early in the morning to set all of this up. Some of the other guys. But last night before I went to sleep, like 10 p.m., I made sure that, I washed the bathroom, washed this, did that. Right. That doesn't take anything away from me as a man, right? But here's the thing. We have primary and secondary assignments in relationships. Your Harvard degree as a woman cannot replace what I primarily need from you. So it is an added advantage to whatever we decide we want to do with it as a couple. But primarily, I will go and date a girl in Chicken Republic if she's feminine, fit, friendly, nurturing, and I will tell you and your Harvard degree to get out.
Okay, so that's the thing.
And same flip side to a woman. Like, we talked about simps the other day, men that have no spine. We talked about mentorship, men that haven't been led, so they don't even know how to lead. Right. Men who don't know how to control their urges. Right. They don't have self-control. They don't. Ultimately, and this is why these marriages are not working. So, do you understand what I'm saying? That's why these relationships are not working. We're not really bringing what we value to the table. Let's not forget what the table.
Okay, so point about the relationship thing. I somewhat disagree. And why I disagree is because there's like a lot of factors. There are a lot of factors responsible for the increase in divorce rates. It could, like, there's so many things that you can think about, right? So it could be the fact that, yes, men and women are not, like, they're not picking compatible partners and stuff like that. That's one. It could be that before, women didn't have that option of leaving because they couldn't afford to. It could be that they weren't as incentivized to leave. It could be that they didn't know better, right? For example, if someone is in an abusive relationship and they didn't know what they were missing in an actual relationship, of course, they won't leave because they didn't know that they were being abused, right? It could be that, especially if it wasn't like physical abuse. So it could be that. Now people are like learning that, they can get better, they can do better for themselves, or things can be better than what they're experiencing currently. It could be the fact that people are like losing satisfaction. There are like a lot of distractions. There's so many things to kind of like take away from what you necessarily would have just hyper focused on without like social media and things like that, like movies and stuff like that. So many things that we can actually like look into it. It's a very, very dicey thing that I don't think is fair for us to like pull one thing and say, okay, this is it. So yeah.
Woman, but
a wife is not a car.
So that's the thing.
She's not some fancy toy. She's a gift from God.
Bro, so that's the thing. What we're talking about.
Your money can't buy you a wife.
Bro, what we're talking about is different. What is what I mean? To say that what marriage means to different people are different. I mean, my relationship goal is from yours. I don't know what your answer is.
No. Because the goal of every relationship. No, the goal of every relationship to stand the test of time.
No, bro.
Then why are you getting into it?
So what's not? Let me.
I wonder why we have the chaos that we have.
Listen. Why I said it's not the goal is because people get married at different times
for different reasons.
Fantastic. So the time when you marry depends on the level of maturity that you have. You might have some needs at a particular level. Facts.
So David is saying the ideal goal is long term.
No, I'm sorry. I don't think that there's any ideal goal when it comes to relationship.
For example,
people coming together to live the rest of their lives together. I, David, Salt Ayodele, do not think that there's any ideal goal for it. It's just your choice. To say that at this particular point of my life, this is how I want the rest of my life to be. And this is the person I've chosen this journey.
But how do we say because you have an chill, bro? Sorry, How do we, because this is very, very crazy. Yeah. If I go to NCAT Zaria and I go into school there, I really just want to go into school. Like I just love the school and I want to go into it. Yeah. There's a reason why I'm going there.
Yes. Yeah. There's a reason. What's the end goal?
That's the
No. Wait. Yeah, what David Kenny is saying is actually is actually a very reasonable point. And I love the analogy that he used, because the analogy that he just used is very, very fantastic. It's like, marriage, the goal for marriage is to pick someone, spend the rest of your life with the person, build with the person, and, till death do you part. That's why it is part of the marriage vows. And then he used the analogy of someone seeing a school or a university and they're like, okay, I really like this university, and I go into the university. The end goal for you to go into a university is for you to get a degree, is for you to graduate with a degree. That's the end goal of a university. Every other thing is by the way. You making friends is by the way. You building connections is by the way. Your goal there is to learn and graduate with a degree, right? That's the point of it. Now, if you enter a university and you make friends and you learn, but you don't graduate, you failed, technically. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So here's the thing. No. Hear what I'm saying. They are institutions.
No, and I'm being honest about this. I've said this many times.
See, if we play a football match, the goal is to win the match.
That's last.
Yes. Exactly.
Do you understand? The goal is to win it. The goal is to survive. The goal is to make it out. Is to live a fulfilled life.
Okay, fantastic.
Do you understand? If not, people will not be offing themselves and committing suicide. We are going out of all these things. Have the person that created this institution had a goal for it, for marriage. We can bring our own subjective view to it to say, oh, there's no goal. That's you messing it up. No, I think.
So what are the other goals?
Do you understand? Thank you. If you get married to a woman or you want to marry, we're talking about marriage here. If not, just be in a relationship and live away your life.
I want to hear the results goals.
If you go into a marriage, do you know getting married is?
I agree.
Meet the girl. Parents have to meet each other.
David Kenny.
Go to the court. In Nigeria, you do track.
Bro.
You not go to church. You not sign, bro.
Me, I want to hear
all of that.
I want to hear these goals. What are the
Because you don't have a goal.
But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, right?
It's not a goalless thing. It's not a goalless thing.
Let's hear
Marriage is not headless.
I think they should let David
I want you to understand
talk.
something. And that thing is that, you see, when we talk about relationship and marriages, it's an entirely different ball game. I don't think that this episode will help us trash totally when it comes to masculinity and talking about men. But however, I would like to just say some things clearly. This asylum actually speaks to different kind of people. It speaks to the guy that is currently at the club right now. It speaks to the guy that's actually smoking weed at the moment. It speaks to the guy that's in church, that's probably in a choir rehearsal. It speaks to the guy that is actually never come out of his room and is always right there with his earpiece plugged on, and he doesn't feel like he's man enough. So I am here to tell you that there are people
I feel like I'm man
that
enough.
goes into relationships and even marriages that do not have that end goal that you just described in future for them, and it does not make them a failure when it comes to. So you can. But that just means
wait. It does, but it does make them a failure, because if marriage is designed for something, if the end goal is a specific thing, and you don't get that end goal, then you failed. That's why people have failed marriages. A divorce is a failed marriage. That's technically why people don't if you have a goal in mind and you don't reach that goal, you failed.
When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable.
So that's I'm going somewhere.
Do you understand?
I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
If I have not defined the success of my marriage to be what you have described marriage to look like, then I have not failed.
No, I'm not the one that defined.
No.
Okay, that is another.
You know that people that are atheists, right?
Yes,
and they're also brother men.
No, but I am. And I am. But I feel like everyone.
Were you seriously just going to enjoy the video and not like? or leave a comment or subscribe. Really, really.